the Facebook should be live. Oh, oh, oh.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, we're on.
We on, boys.
We don't have a video check tonight
No.
because she's gone to guides. G'day punters, Fanatics, Lenny here, and
Hi,
I'm
friends.
with Gibbo and Wal.
G'day.
And we need to get out of that because we don't need to look at that anymore.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the tubes on here.
All
22nd of
happening.
March, live. There we go.
So, hey,
Boom.
there we go. What are you on YouTube?
Yeah, tubes. Tubes, bro.
Troops, bro. So, what's happening in Fanatics land?
We'll go through the week that was. It was a
It's been
massive-
2 weeks, kids.
2 weeks. Two massive weeks.
we've had
Sport
a lot.
is back. Contact sport is back.
Correct.
It's bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Bronx supporter.
Oh,
Yeah, good.
2-0.
Yep. 2-0.
2-0. So,
Only not.
How about them Tigers?
how about the Tigers? Useless.
Yeah, not so good.
Flogging.
Yeah, 0.
Flogging.
It's crazy what can happen in the off season though. I think the salary cap makes that like it's hard for a team to just they stay at the top, but it's hard for them to win again.
Yeah.
It must be so hard to win back to back because
Oh.
it's so tight that if a team is full strength, they can beat anyone on their day.
Yeah.
Like, Bronx is a perfect example of that.
That's like nowadays, you have to nearly win every game in the Premier League to win the title.
Yeah.
Like, you can't drop points anyway. It's ridiculous.
So, good evening, Chris. Good evening, Ben. And good evening, Tyson. The three amigos.
The three amigos.
Uh,
Betty
the drive-
Cameron.
How was the drive to Bundy? Oh, there's 12 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
12. 6
Well-
up, 6 back.
Left here at 4:30 this morning and
Oh, a
got
few
home at
stops.
4. A few pit stops. Took Shell went with me, so.
How many Frozos?
I had one. She had
Per
2.
hour.
But I had a iced latte from Macca's as well.
Latte.
Oh,
Look at you go.
Fabulous.
Fabulous, dear.
But
Got the whistling cup.
what was the
Yeah.
highlight? Did you stop in front of any big things? Like big ornaments?
No.
Oh.
We stopped. Actually, we came home from the farm on Sunday and we stopped at the Big Orange
Oh,
at Gatton, and that is like. There's
it's not that big.
I love that place.
There's 10 minutes you're never getting back.
I love that place. Good value.
No, it
We-
wasn't.
Really?
No, it
We
wasn't.
stop there every
The
time we
produce
come home
wasn't
back
good.
from tournament.
If this was Sunday afternoon, I suppose. The
It's
produce
just
was.
been flooded.
Hey,
with
Nelso's
old
on.
buddies.
The
Hey,
old
Nelso!
the old Bruce Highway, like on Steve Owen Way, not far from Go To.
Yep.
The Big Mile. It's a classic.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
forgets that it's there. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And every time I go past, I'm like, I must stop and get a photo, and I still haven't. Because there's this thing I've started with work where when you're travelling away, there's a big thing. You've got to stop and get a photo.
Yeah.
Like, and we're going to have a photo wall in the head office with people
all
just
the
in
big
front of big
stuff.
things.
Like a big banana.
Because
big
Australia,
pineapple.
We went past the big pineapple today, twice.
Did you?
You did?
Well, it's not on the highway though.
Yeah, it's two minutes off it.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Australia has a fascination with big things. We've got the most big things per capita of anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, we've got the most biggest thing on the
And we've
couch.
got duplicates. Like there's 2 big marlins.
Yeah,
Full
that's,
stop.
that's what I was just getting to. Damn it, stole my joke, Benny, you legend. Classic.
So yeah, so today the drive to Bundy took the 20-inch and the edger and a Momuster to Luke, who's out at and there he is. Yep. To lives in Bagara.
Bagara, which is like the coast. It's
Yeah.
about 15 minutes from
Yeah.
the centre of town.
Um,
Bundy.
did a burnout on his lawn. No, I didn't.
Imagine.
Bought a case of Bundy rum, probably. You don't drink, but you probably
No,
did
but
because
geez.
it's Bundy.
Geez, I've smashed some cans of that stuff over the years.
I just
I've,
love going on the tour, the smell. It's like,
Oh.
it's kind of like Stress Buster, actually. It's 'cause it's molasses.
I had a couple of blokes I knew went on it and they were walking along and they sort of pipe dripping and they just started licking it. I don't know whether it was good or bad or whether they survived the day, but they started licking this pipe.
Oh,
So saw Luke, said good day, chatted for about an hour. He's good on talking. Yeah, he's good. He can talk.
Can chat.
Can chat.
Where did you go to Luke's house, or did
Yeah.
you go to the? Okay.
Yeah.
Because Luke gave me a full tour of the fire station up there.
Yeah, I've
And
been,
Archie?
I've been to his place twice now.
It was just,
Um,
yeah, it was unreal.
and it's fair to say he's done a fairly decent scalp on the green.
Well,
Mm,
wow.
That was an accidental job, wasn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
The longevity front isn't as fun as stress busting club.
No.
The longevity is the next
No,
day.
Yeah.
So yeah, got back here at 4ish, and then had to rush around and like
And here you are.
bolt an aerator back together and
What are you aerating tomorrow?
someone's yard. Yeah,
Where?
yeah.
It's been. Did you tell him the water? Ironically, like it's been so wet, but it's been like dry and hot.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
I had to irrigate it.
Wow.
He's ready to go.
Yep.
It was my fantastic neighbour Leo manufactured a part for me to fix my fix my aerator.
Because he works at a turf farm, mate.
He works at Jim Boomba Turf. He was he's done the maintenance at Jim Boomba Turf for about 40 years.
On the machinery.
Yeah,
Where?
He's the maintenance guy.
Because
on
he
all
had
the
a
machinery.
grinder in his day, didn't he?
He's got he used to have a cylinder grinder in the shed next door.
Is that why you have
And he
that
sold
no
it.
regrets tattoo on your bum?
Yeah.
Because you're like, should I buy it? And you went, nah. And then he got rid of it.
He got rid of this. He had a cylinder grinder in his shed, and he sold it about eight months before we moved in here.
Oh,
My goodness.
we could have made a
you are
fortune.
joking me. But yeah, no, he's a whiz, mate. He can make anything. He's unbelievable.
We should have paid Betty Cameron to write our itinerary tonight. How was the SA trip, lads? He's just
Well,
going through.
he's jumping ahead a little
Yeah,
bit. We've got to do
we-
sport
we
first.
gotta
We've
get
got to talk
sport.
about the Mad Mullet from
The Mad Mullet from One Teamer.
from One Teamer. Yeah, how good was he?
Massive.
Not bad. Good
Yeah.
size. Just
Not
shows he's been living at TPC Sawgrass, training there for the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
the course pretty well.
Yeah.
He
But
goes fishing with the super.
Knows
Yeah,
the
good.
shelf for marlin as well.
yeah, that's right.
But
But
still, you got to
gotta
produce it
execute.
on the day.
and to get through what he did, like snap
And
hooking
that's less
in
pressure.
the last couple of holes, and then being able to just
Handle the heat on that 16.
hitting
you know,
bullseyes.
You know
Chris
you're in front.
Chris is saying, what about that shot on the 17th? He actually didn't mean to do
He
that.
admitted that he
He
pushed
admitted
it.
that he pushed it and didn't mean to
He
do
didn't
that.
mean
Yeah,
it
he was
to-
supposed to hit it well left and like roll it down the hill.
Yeah.
And his heart must have been in his throat already.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
his bum
Yes.
would have been biting.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 cent, 50 cent.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, well done, Cam.
that
He's
was
a Brisbane
worth
boy.
the 3 a.m. get up to watch that.
We do have a loose connection with
The leash.
the Leash, Mark Leishman.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and get Cam onto the Fanatics as well.
Yeah.
So we will.
Because I'd say that,
We might even send like.
Has he been the press conference talking up? He just was thinking of the Queensland Origin team and just getting through it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just like channeling the Queensland spirit.
Might see if we can send some
How
stuff
good.
over.
the other thing that he did, which a lot of pro golfers rarely do, was he was so obviously he knows the super, but it was such a hard week to green keep that course,
Oh,
like to get that course up for
Yeah.
tournament conditions.
Yeah.
Like it rained pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And
For the
they were-
week leading up as well.
Like, they were working ridiculous hours. Those guys, they were up
Yeah.
at like 2:30, 3 in the morning,
They started mowing at 3 on the morning before the last round.
and they were cleaning up at the end of the last round. Like so they were just constantly
Yeah, they were
on the
there.
go.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was good to see him give thanks to those guys.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Because they're the unsung heroes.
They are,
They
you know,
really are.
that they are what make the course so hard, but also the players look so good. Like even the distance that they can drive and all those kinds of things, and just like you just watch it and we'll see like everyone has Masters syndrome. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Benny Cameron, he's on fire tonight. All the Broncos needed was a good South junior.
Well, yeah, yeah.
He did,
Suck eggs.
what about the first game? He didn't play.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's
And the second game, he wasn't on fire, you would say.
I
He
think-
did enough.
I think all the Bronx needed
Keeping it.
was Wayne Bennett to stop stealing their players,
Yeah.
and taking them to Souths, and
Yeah.
he stopped for a little bit, and
Yeah.
Kevy kind of crossed him, and
Mm.
he turned inside to Tony Carroll, and he scored the try.
But often it's
How's the flick between the legs?
Oh,
Can't believe he dropped that.
but often it's just having a good player with the knowledge and the organisation.
He's
Like
so
he
calm, isn't he?
organises on the field. You don't see a lot of what happens on the field.
100%. Just a kicking game.
So you were talking about it on Monday night with Matty Johns this week, and they was just saying that he doesn't play to a game plan, and actually, it's kind of telling the Broncos. Kevy, I don't think makes the Broncos play to a game plan, so it's probably the perfect signing.
Yeah.
because he just goes, as long as your defense is good, as long as you get to your kick, and just let him lead you around the park. It's probably
Yeah.
the perfect scenario for him.
Yeah.
You know, there's no real set up there.
Yep. Formula One is back, and a few surprises. Yep.
Yeah,
I didn't think
the biggest
McLaren
surprise is
was going to be as poop as
Ricardo going the worst.
they are. God almighty.
I didn't see it. I just saw photos of him
Oh, mate.
sitting in the gutter,
He
being
was-
consoled by
Mate, they
the
were
team.
driving around in reverse. They were so slow.
Horrendous.
But
Really?
so he had COVID the whole week. So there's
Leading in.
two official tests. So what limits F1 these days is how often a driver can actually test the car, like physically sit in it and drive it. They've got 2 weeks, and that's it. That's all they're allowed to do.
Crazy.
So the second week testing. So for the first week they generally use as a bed-in period, make sure everything works really well.
Yeah.
The second week is when they start to get stuck into it. And the second week, which was in Bahrain, he had COVID. So he missed the whole of the second week.
Because it's like a Formula One, like it's like a F1 pilot or F111 pilot or whatever, like a top jet pilot
Yeah.
flying blind.
Yeah.
Like when they don't test on that track.
Yeah.
Like they might kind of remember it from years gone by, but like with the different car setup, you just like
Just the cars are totally different
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just even from what they were last year, the cars are
Gaz is
totally
here.
different.
Gaza.
Oh,
Gaza,
you legend.
Is he
He's-
in the UK?
Yeah, he's live from the UK.
he's tuning in.
And a big shout out to Gary.
Yeah.
Lost his old man just the other day, and we are thinking of you, brother.
Yep,
Yeah.
Your thoughts, our thoughts are with you,
we're glad you got to get there, mate.
and we're so glad you got there. So glad.
Please have some pints for all of us.
He took
Yeah.
his mate he hadn't
Bob
seen in
Potts.
30
I
years.
saw that
a
for
bottle
Monday
of
rum.
I saw
How
that.
good was that?
So he went to UK with a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
And you went to Bundy.
Yeah.
And didn't get
a
any
bottle
Didn't
of
get bottle of rum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense, doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you really think about it.
Well,
Could have called.
yeah, so the crickets are quiet. I had a quiet word to them.
And the cricket in general has been pretty quiet. You
Yeah.
know, it's just bat for 4 days and then
Declare.
and let the other team
Yeah,
kind of
cricket
peter
was-
it out for a draw.
Cricket
There's
was
got to be
terrible.
something. Like I did some background research on the pitch, like on the different pitches.
While we're sitting in
While
the
we're in the
casino.
casino.
I was in the casino in Adelaide. How was Adelaide? We were in the casino in Adelaide, and I was reading about the pitches in Pakistan. That's what I was doing.
That's
Yeah.
how
The
entertaining
outfields are
Adelaide was.
generally
And I was like,
Zosia.
I was like, these just play like dead. So I was like, surely the percentage of silt, which is like the finer particles,
Yeah.
clog all the pore spaces, and when it rolls, it just rolls flat and hard, and it does nothing. Like it doesn't do anything. But actually, when you look at the sand, silt, and clay, it's very similar to an Australian wicket.
Mm.
And so I think it's just the way that the clay shrinks and swells
Yeah, right.
that make it a different kind of. It has no nip or. you know,
Benny Cameron.
Yeah.
The pitches are flatter than the roads Lenny drove on today.
Mate, there's some roadworks going on up there, let me tell you.
Mm.
There's one section there you're doing like 40 k's an hour for about 10 k's.
Is that up the top of Gimpy there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of
Horrendous.
hippie.
Is that just all the floods that's.
No, I think it's
damage
just.
They've just
upgrade
been
the
trying to
highway.
upgrade it for ages.
But it's like that whole area is like floodplains.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they don't make the highway
Yeah.
higher. They just build it so it floods again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
What do you do? Anyway, Adelaide. We went to Adelaide.
Was
Wheels
great.
Company ICL was very, very generous in giving away a MoMaster cylinder mower, and there was a lot of other prizes involved, including if you go into our file section, you will see there are some lawn plans that you can follow. So they gave away all the ingredients for the top level plan,
Ingredients, love it.
Yep. Total dominance.
Total Dominance.
Total dominance package. So we had 3, like the winner who won the MoMaster, Chad, he won the MoMaster R22, and he won the Total Dominance pack, which is a full suite to look after your lawn, up to 330 square meters for a year.
Yep.
So it's preams, wetting agent, fertilizer, biostimulants, everything you need.
Remo, you name it.
For Chad's lawn, it's probably like 3 years worth of products.
Yeah.
He's got
So
100
good.
100 square
And
meters.
crazy, and he's watching tonight, is Nelso, and just by chance lived like 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
And we did not look at locality
No.
of people. We just looked at their text, their photos, and Steve won runner-up. So he got a total dominance package. So we were able to look at Chad's lawn and
then went to
Steve's lawn.
Nelson's lawn.
Yeah.
And they both,
And we cleaned out Nelson's beer fridge. Sorry, dude.
yeah, they're both Santarena. and both amazing lawns. Like
Yeah.
just slight differences, and just the
So Chad Mosen about 7 mil and Nelson's about 15. So
yeah, and just the different way they were setting up. Even their landscape was good to see. Like there was
Nelson's got a few more divots in his now from us laying all over it for
Yeah.
a few hours.
yeah, yeah,
And Chad's got planning a pool for next summer.
yeah.
So he's got a section to the side there that's looking a bit rough, but that's because it's got a pool going there.
I can't get over how good his lawn looks with that dog running
He's got a
around.
horse.
Don't anyone ever complain about problems with dogs on their
Mate,
lawn
wait
again.
until you see Chad. And then
Chad's dog.
I spent the rest of the whole day trying to stay real.
Yeah. So I got my present as well.
Yeah.
No.
Signed and delivered.
This horse dog, it was a great.
His
name.
name was Boston, and he was
Boston,
like
yes.
8 months old, but he was the size of a horse.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
When he jumped
and he
up
took a
on
liking.
Lenny and he put his hands on
I-
Lenny's shoulders,
Yeah, he took
I felt
but
like
he
a
took
that's
a
how
liking.
tall he
I
was.
felt like a basketball team in the '80s. Like Boston Celtics was just he was just all over
Dominating
me.
you.
He was just
He was
dominating.
you.
It was just
Will
dominating.
made the mistake of laying on the lawn with
The
the
front
Great
end on.
Danish. Thought it was an invitation.
It
I was like
funny,
a
yeah.
point guard, and this dog was Larry Bird, and just dominated me completely. So it's probably the best way to describe it.
I got one comment on the tubes we have to go over quickly.
Oh yeah.
Peter N. My daughter Kira Lee is watching Carpet Grass Club with me. She's an up and coming fanatic.
Yeah,
Hi,
good.
Hello, Kira Lee.
Hi Kira Lee.
Welcome.
Welcome.
G'day.
Thanks very much for joining us. That's bloody good.
That's
My
awesome.
next door neighbour's name's Kira Lee. She's a dead set legend too.
Yeah, good.
Same person.
No, I don't think so. If
Then if it is,
Peter's pretty
Who
old,
cares?
that's his daughter.
okay, all right.
It's good to see actually. More chicks getting into the fanatics. Like we have a pretty like it's 30%.
Females, not chicks. Females, ladies,
It's just a figure of speech.
lawn lovers.
Ladies, women.
Yep.
Women.
30%.
30% of this group is women.
Yeah,
So
I reckon it's
with that's 30 odd thousand. 35,
Yep.
Well, it's about 85,000. So yeah, probably 25,
25.
something like that.
Nelson's partner was stitching him up on a few stories, eh?
Oh,
Yeah,
So
funny was
good.
she?
She was
She was
just
great.
dobbing him in all over the
Yeah.
place. And Nelson's aerator. How good was that
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, that was
bit
awesome.
of, bit of
There's some
redneck
pics there.
engineering.
We've got some pics to do with. I'm trying to
We'll
edit
load
a
some
video
up.
together and get it up, but yeah.
It'll be pretty cool.
And tell them about your guys' day on Friday. What you got to see.
So Friday we kind of split up, and Gibbo and I went off with the Lawn Hub and Water Pro guys, and Will went with
K&B Adams.
K&B
And
Adams.
Mate, my day was made by the time we even rocked up. Just got cooked breakfast.
mate. Yeah, we
Yeah.
went to the
Bulk
Water
ice
Pro.
coffee.
We all got cooked breakfast. That was
Water,
awesome.
yeah,
Right,
you went
so-
to that Water Pro warehouse, got cooked breakfast.
Shout out to Mudgy for
Mudgy, that
great
was
job on the
yeah.
barbie, and
Yep.
the maple bacon was off the
Oh,
charts.
was yeah.
I'm getting into that again. I'm gonna go and buy some because
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Hey Benny, the recent cover pick. No, Lorraine is 82.
82.
Yeah.
Still
in a mowing.
wild.
Looks after her own lawn and still in the most with a Super Swift.
How good.
82.
It's Blue Cooch too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I should get on to Ben Gripsky about that.
Yeah, that's ambassador status.
Yeah,
Like
should be.
how good. Like
Yeah, I will. I'll give Benny a call and say, hey, you got an 82-year-old using a Super Swift.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, we stayed around and chatted to a lot of people, saw how the Lawn Hub
Batch plant works.
Yeah, the corporation.
Yeah.
Met Jonesy, who runs the Lawn Hub area. He's a good guy. Mudgy's a good guy.
Keen.
Matt's a good guy. Clint's a lunatic. Who's that guy? Another day.
Clint's a lunatic.
Clint's a lunatic.
He took us around and found us some epic banh mi rolls, like Vietnamese pork bun
so
rolls.
good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Adelaide, that's one thing they do really well.
Yeah.
Vietnamese pork buns. Yeah, that was good. So we went to Hindmarsh Stadium,
Which is
which
where
is
the
Cooper Stadium now, which is where
Adelaide United.
Adelaide
Yep.
United play.
A-League
Um,
side.
And we got to walk around with the curator there.
Legend.
He's a great guy, yeah.
Interesting surface. It
Yeah.
started out as like a Cooch.
Wintergreen.
Yeah, wintergreen and ryegrass, and now it's pretty much like
About
close
90,
to pure.
95% right
Yeah,
grass. There's a few
yeah.
wintergreen patches.
But they want to go like it's challenging through summer in Adelaide. Like it's arid. That was an eye opener for us.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
out to see Chad and Nelson's and just like feeling the climate there. It's dry.
dry.
It's like a
Look,
desert.
where we drove through between Adelaide and
It was sparse.
York Peninsula, it was
Yeah.
crazy salt bush for days.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
And,
But yeah, I found it really weird that the Football Federation want them to play on ryegrass,
it's a big thing. World
but
football,
but they got a summer season.
world football love the aesthetic of ryegrass.
Yeah,
Um,
and he's got to
They-
water it before games so it gets the skid on.
I find they undervalue.
So they can slide when they score goals.
Yeah, years like when we used to do the testing, because I used to do like traction testing and stuff, and like I find that
Lawn burnouts.
undervalue cooch.
Mm.
Like a lot of transitional surfaces in Australia, there are a lot. Suncorp, Sydney, they have a cooch base and then ryegrass over the top, and it's the cooch that gives it that traction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when the player steps, changes direction, sometimes they're hybrids, but it's really that solid turf, the dominant warm season turf that gives it.
As the Stolens
The
and the
base,
rhizomes
yeah.
that hold that ground
Yeah.
together.
You pack a scrum on cooch and then pack a scrum on like a union scrum on ryegrass, like pure ryegrass. It's a
It's like
different.
straight to the sound.
That's why,
profile.
like,
Yeah.
when the Wallabies go away, they play in New Zealand. You see them really struggle to get momentum pushing
Yeah.
in scrums because they're not used to like the slipperiness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They definitely just have to review
And
the
they're playing-
tag length
and
Tag length.
and they're playing the All Blacks
And they're playing the All Blacks.
Yeah.
and England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
We'll
that
make
was great.
excuses.
But he's keen to like transition the wintergreen completely out. But I think you were saying they got to relay it because the Women's World Cup's there soon or something like
Yeah,
that.
and then they're thinking, I think with funding or something, they're going to do a replacement with warm season, so probably look at Santa Ana or something.
Okay.
Yep.
But it was a good eye opener because they have one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just working by himself.
All day round.
And what was his biggest pest? Feral cats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feral cats.
Lots of
Getting out
of
there and weeing
cat
on the
crap.
pitch. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
he
that-
has to replace replace sections because the
Turf
wee burn
doctor.
is so bad.
Yeah.
He has to turf doctor it out and replace
I
sections.
thought that was amazing.
Yeah,
And then we went to the pork bun shop.
Yep.
And then we went to Adelaide Oval.
How good.
Oh, mate. How good is
So
that
good.
place? It is great. I've never been to Adelaide Oval.
yeah,
It's an amazing facility. It's they call it the prettiest ground in Australia, and it really is.
Mm.
Well, they got the ivy growing up the stadium
yeah. I
walls.
took a good
and-
video of that. That was
Yeah.
impressive. And it's actually the original walls from the old stadium that they had to keep there because it's heritage listed.
I love the old stadium pavilions.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
they should. I think Anfield has still that.
Certainly do.
Old Trafford has that, and I think like why get rid of that? You know, like
It's
that's
the history,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah.
But
But-
it was great because Damien Hoff, who's the head curator there, met us at the gate and walked us all around the place and gave us an
Amazing.
in-depth tour.
Amazing.
Really went in depth about the moving of the drop in pitches
Yep.
and gave us a full education around how that actually happens. Showed us the turf wicket remover and the how they
Yep.
do it, and that
It's so
the guys
impressive,
work
isn't it?
24 hours overnight to prepare. They have to do it overnight because the road that they put out for it to go
Burns.
along, it burns the grass. So they work through the night in replacing these pitches, and yeah, it was mind blowing the logistics of it all
Yeah.
and trying to get it
So
all happening. And we
then
just got to stand in the middle of the Adelaide Oval where people around the world
but even before
dream
that,
of doing.
we got the full tour of the practice wicket area, which
And the
is where
nurseries
where
and-
they winter the test wickets.
Mm.
And the question was how far out
Mm.
from the test do you pick your test wicket?
Yeah.
And he goes, I've already picked it.
Yeah, amazing.
Holy
Santa Ana?
Yeah, Santa
Santa
Ana
Ana
pitches.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the pitches are Santa Ana, and the rest of the place is rye.
Ryegrass.
Yeah.
Was there any talk of going warm season or because they were warm season at one stage?
AFL don't like.
Yeah.
They want.
It used to be all Santa Ana, the whole lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they have to have right now for footy season.
Mm,
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
I suppose it's okay though. Like there's a few months in summer that are just really big.
But they don't have anything there apart from cricket
Yeah.
in summer.
Yeah.
And that's not huge traffic.
It
on
doesn't.
them.
Yeah. It's
They
doesn't
just
do
said
too
he
much
said the
damage.
thing that knocks around the ryegrass the most is the concerts.
Yeah, they cover like putting the
Covers on and
stadium
off.
flooring on.
Yeah.
Now,
He had all the wickets had just been laser level, like so they put
Yeah,
the
black
Coro
soil.
top maker through the
What's the
test
soil
wickets.
called?
It's Adelaide something.
I forget what the name. He had a special name for it. He said
No.
we've got a certain supply of it that
And
should
he's
last
got
us until
Is that from-
2050.
Yeah, he's got the only supply of the dirt of the clay.
Yeah.
He's got that, and he said that'll see his career out.
Yep.
And then he doesn't care about it after that, I suppose. But well, he
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
He will.
Yep. They'll surely shore some up for the.
Yeah, but he's got the full supply of that
Yeah.
dirt for his pitches. But they put a Coro top field maker. You know that.
Yeah.
That,
Like basically like a
Like,
turf
yeah.
cutter that just shaves
so
the whole top.
yeah,
spews
because
it out.
he's actually one of the few curators who are moving to a lot of technology.
Yep.
So he's got a study going with Adelaide University about, or whatever, Flinders or whatever
Yeah.
they're called,
Mm.
about the organics and stuff in the, because
Yep.
they feel there was too much organics.
Mm.
So yeah, you got them, ripped it all out and then laser leveled all of them. So there was like 12 pitches or something that had
Yeah.
been done and laser leveled.
Should have seen it. You could have literally played billiards on it.
Yeah.
It was next level.
It's
Apart from
surprising
apart
how
from the
far
like
they
the clay
Was that
look,
that was in the
ball.
tray area or in the practice?
No,
area?
in the field too.
Oh, I feel too.
Yeah.
So field 2, you had there's 4 wickets there that they're like practice wickets or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
The test wickets were in the
actual nets
in
part.
the nets area, but
Yep.
segregated to the side.
Yeah. And so you guys recalled to me the conversation you had with Damien, just him standing near his wicket and just how passionate he was.
Oh,
that
mate.
kind of blew you guys
He was
away.
nearly
He
in
was-
tears at
He was
one
in-
point just
yeah,
talking
he was
about it.
saying
It was
um,
phenomenal.
because he hasn't been doing a long time since Les Burdett retired.
Yep.
And to Les's credit, he's always there. Not always there, but he's always ready to help.
Yep.
But Damien doesn't want. He needs to do it himself.
He wants
needs
to prove it.
He needs to have mistakes, otherwise he'll never learn, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was saying that the press have been into him about this and that, and everyone's been on his back. But he had Justin Langer come up to him and say, "Mate, whatever you're doing is good for cricket."
Yeah.
He goes,
And
that's
that
the
nearly made him
wickets
cry.
world cricket need.
That's
is
what
wickets like
you're
that.
doing. What world cricket needs.
Yeah. It's like,
So that's
whoa.
mate, how big a pat on the back is that?
Benny Cameron, to answer your question, he actually taught us some lessons around that. So, the GOAT, Nathan Lyon, did not actually
at
work
Adelaide Oval.
at Adelaide Oval. He
No.
worked at another centre that they run.
It's like Field
But
25
he-
or something it's called.
He used to mow the Adelaide Oval on occasion, and he was
When test matches are coming up.
he was the guy that helped implement the pattern on the field, but he never worked on the
He never,
wickets
he
at
never
Adelaide
actually
Oval.
worked at Adelaide Oval. He worked at a second field down the road sort of thing.
Yeah.
Another cricket place.
Yeah.
And when the test matches were on and they dragged staff from everywhere, that's when Nathan Lyon used to come to Adelaide Oval.
Wow.
Media, mate. And he said, just ask the media, they'll tell you. It was
Yeah, he said, but Nathan Lyon will tell you that he
That's
worked
right.
there as
That's
well.
right. Yeah.
Especially when he takes wickets. Oh, I know this surface.
That's right. Take a hat trick, yeah, that's the wicket I
Yeah.
worked on.
What's a safe broadleaf herbicide for rye? It's on the label. There's a lot that are safe for it. Like, I have a feeling that
Casper.
yeah, that is safe. But just even if you go to, I think Bromoxynil might even be safe. You'd have to check.
Yeah.
Like bow and arrow would probably be safe. Just read the label. It'll actually tell you.
Before you buy, Google brands like Google Casper, Google Bow and Arrow, Google,
You can buy it also.
Yeah, and you'll find the label online, so you have a read through there
Yeah.
of what it'll target and what it's good for.
The SDSs
Before you
and
buy,
labels are
before you
easy
buy,
to find.
Google it and have a look.
Yeah.
The labels are all there online.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Gary.
Very true. Nice,
Yeah,
Gary.
it is.
Yeah, we said that a few times
No, it was
when
good.
we were
'cause
walking
they
out the race, and
Yeah, the boys were setting up for AFL, so the post had been put in.
they had the GPS markers out, marking all the lines, GPS.
Yeah.
It was just epic.
They
put it
did
in
it.
those
Got a
little
good look at the
things I was asking
scoreboard.
you
Ply,
about.
ply flexes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They cut it. They did what's different. It was different cut at Adelaide Oval. I saw the photo. Might even be related to Damien. Last name Hoff. So
Yeah.
if you're on the page,
Owner.
own up. Tell us that you're his brother or something, or his cousin, and say that it's okay to admit to us that you do love the Adelaide Oval because you're his brother,
Yeah.
but you also love the Adelaide Oval because it's just
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
But-
genuine, like I've been out in the centre of a few of those big stadiums now, and not as with you, but there's a feeling in there. When you
Yeah,
walk out,
there's
an
a
even when they're empty, like there's an atmosphere.
you feel insignificant.
Yeah.
Like it's like this huge thing. Like it is a
Yeah,
juggernaut
when you're in the
structure.
absolute middle of it, you're like, man, it feels so much bigger from standing here than
Yeah.
it does when you're in the stands. I think just because you're around 50,000 people or whatever. But I've been there for an Australia versus England T20 game.
Mm.
When, like, it was the first series after it got redeveloped in 2010, and it was full house, and the atmosphere in there was amazing.
Mm.
But the experience of being in the middle with no one there was actually more powerful.
Mm.
It was
Yeah.
real weird. Like,
Yeah.
it was like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like the silence.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I got to see that in the Olympic Stadium, like the morning of the State of Origin, it was empty. We got to walk out in the field and help set up the field and stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
later on that night, it was 82,500 people there. Were out there picking up chips of ryegrass off the field at half time.
Yeah. Mm.
Benny Cameron, how good is Adelaide though? Very underrated city.
Mate, let me tell you about the worst car park in the world.
I've got a video I'll post in here.
There,
It's
where did we say? Stanford Plaza.
Stanford
Yeah,
Plaza.
which I-
North Bridge Ave, something, North
I
Ave.
think it was like it's right in the centre of town.
It's across the road from the centre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was actually like a COVID hotel, and and then
we didn't get COVID.
we didn't.
We
So
come home clean.
all
Yeah,
good.
clean.
We
As a whistle.
actually think the car park
Oh, I
was
can't post the
designed
video in the team.
once the hotel had been built, and they said, "Well, let's squeeze this in here." Some of the places to get like the normal drive you go through the car park, we always had to do 3-point turns, didn't we?
The
They were
best
just
ever
ridiculous.
was when we had to park up against the pole. Lenny reversed into the park and couldn't get out the door.
So I had to climb,
So I had to
the only
climb
way- I had to
across.
climb across and get out the passenger's door.
Oh, I took a video of
And
it. I
on
wish
two
I could
occasions
post
in
it
two
here.
different
I'll
parking
post it
spots.
afterwards because Lenny gets out just from this, like, coming. It's like Ace Ventura out
It
of the
just
Rhino,
reminded
right?
me of
That's
like,
what it was like. And then he just stands up and he's like, "This is the worst car park ever."
Yeah,
and just
it
walks
was.
it
off.
kind of reminded me of like the Simpsons episode where they have like Crazy Land and Homer makes that thing out of mattresses. And Ralph Wiggum crawls out and it's like, it smells funny in there. And I was like, no, it doesn't. They're like, our car park's massive. And you're like, no, it isn't.
No, it isn't. Horrendous.
So where are we?
Then
Yes.
the lifts to get out. Talking about FERT prices.
USA is set to have a massive spike in cost of fur. Is that going to likely happen here?
Yes.
Yes, is the answer.
Yep.
USA doesn't set the market for FERT price. If you look at how much urea, as an example, Russia produces, I think they're in the realms of 25 to 30% of the world's urea gets produced in Russia.
Yep.
And
So you
actually,
won't see that for a while.
and big companies like Yara, Yara are like a urea producer, as an example.
In France, aren't they? They're cutting.
Yeah,
they're
well,
closing
no,
two of their plants because of
in
gas
Europe,
prices.
in Europe, they announced that they're curtailing production by 60%,
Mm.
which means they're only at 40% of capacity. Which means that if they made so many hundreds of thousands of tons or whatever, then they can only theoretically make 40% of
Yeah.
whatever their capacity
So
is.
their urea usually is crop urea,
Yeah,
but still there's a flow-on effect because
Well,
those farmers
not-
who can't get that
not
will have to get it from
necessarily.
somewhere
Their
else.
urea also gets bought by FERT blenders. Like, FERT companies, like, to be fair, ICL, we're not a urea manufacturer. We
Yeah.
buy from someone. We buy from someone like Yara.
Yeah.
And then we will formulate that urea into a coated fertilizer. And so what happens when there's a world FERT shortage that's forced by sanctions but also locality? So like Yara actually have plants in Ukraine as well. There's also big urea plants in Belarus, which is also under sanctions given their alignment with Russia. What happens is the world goes, holy smokes. And the other thing is Russia produces, like, again, a similar amount,
Potash.
30% of the world's wheat.
Yeah.
And so what
Oh,
happens
and Ukraine is huge in wheat. as
in
well.
wheat? And so those countries go, we have to use the fertilizer on wheat. And the wheat, the demand for wheat goes through the roof because Russia's just gone, we're not going to supply wheat to the rest of the world. We're not going to export.
Yeah.
We're going to keep
Or the
it
rest
in
of the world
country.
saying we're not going to buy your wheat.
Yeah, and we're not going to buy your wheat, but then we have to produce more, which means we have to use fertilizer.
Yep.
But like per acre to get more tonnage, we have to use more fertilizer. So the demand for wheat has gone up, the price for fertilizer has gone up, but it's not changing the supply. The supply, like the availability of supply, has gone down, which means the price of urea within the last 3 or 4 weeks has probably doubled.
Yeah.
Hectic.
And the price of like even things like potassium chloride, which is a pretty common in a lot of fert blends, like that has close to doubled. And I'm talking commodity prices now.
Yeah.
And so when you talk fert price rises, like in our game, we'll be affected by supply shortage, but our price rises will be in the realms of anywhere from 10 to 20, maybe 25%. Depends who it is and how price sensitive they are. What you'll find is smaller manufacturers will be much more price sensitive because a lot of the bigger companies will cut deals with each other and they won't get availability.
That's right.
So, the
So
smaller
companies
blenders,
that buy blended ferts will be more exposed
They-
to bigger increases.
they will have to increase more because it won't be as available to them.
Yeah.
Because they don't supply to like Yarra. Like they won't supply say potassium for Yarra to make their blend, and Yarra
Yeah.
won't supply to them urea to make their blend. Yarra supply to X company, and that company supplies to them, and then they supply to the blender.
Yeah.
So they're like 3 parties removed, and so it becomes a priority issue.
Yeah.
So
And every time it passes through a set of hands, someone clips a ticket.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So next question: when does the big green shed kick off?
So-
Wednesday last week. So my product store, mine and Shelley's product store, is live. It's
How good?
ourbiggreen.com.au. Check it out.
Check it
Buy
out.
stuff.
Buy everything. Buy one of each.
So probably should give a
one
shout out
should-
to the people who give discounts to the Fanatics,
Yeah.
which is Lawn Care Supplies, which is Our Big Green Shed, which is Water Pro,
Yep.
which is Lawn Hub,
Yep.
and
They let us in on that little secret.
Plant Doctor.
They let us in on that
Plant
secret
Doctor's
the other
the longest serving discount.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're-
They,
they're-
well,
and
they invented it really
they-
for us.
well,
They invented
yeah,
discounts
They've probably
originally.
been there since what 2018, maybe even in the
2017, I reckon.
so from
Plant
the
Doctor got on,
inception.
yeah.
So over
Well, no, we started in 2015.
Yeah.
truly, but
Came Australia wide.
yeah.
I think they were sort of part of us with Queensland Lawn Fanatics.
yeah,
And then we rolled over into very early days in the Australian Lawn Fanatics. They'll jump on. So 2017, we'll say that.
it's a good partnership, isn't it? Over 5 years
They've
now.
been really good.
But-
to us.
While we were down there, we've always thought that Lawn Hub didn't do a discount because they were boutique fertilisers.
Yeah. No,
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 they set it up originally. They just
but
forgot
they just
to
didn't
tell
tell
us.
us.
So
They didn't tell us.
he's like, "Why don't people use the discount code for Lawn Hub?" And I was like, "Because you don't give us one." I was like, "That's not the
What? I
case."
didn't know
And
that.
they're like, "What do
Yes,
you
we
mean
do.
that's not the case?" So
So
there you
for
go,
all,
guys.
all of those companies, so we'll go through them again: Lawn Hub, Plant Doctor, Water Pro, Lawn Care Supplies, and Our Big Green Shed. The discount code is AUSLF
Yep.
in capital letters,
how good?
and that's it. You'll get 5 or 10% off whatever the company does.
Well, I've got a quick question here from the YouTubes before we get off this fertilizer subject
Yeah.
from before. Sorry. Is there some type of substitute for urea if the supply stops or a massive shortage worldwide?
Well, yeah, there is. Well, there's a couple of things you can do to curtail your urea usage. One's return your clippings to your lawn. So if
Mulch, mate.
you mulch mow with a rotary, or you actually don't use a catcher on your reel, and you cut a little bit more regularly. The second thing is, interestingly, it's weird. Yes, urea is an ingredient in control release, but it's not as price sensitive because it's half the weight of the product is actually the coating, and
Right.
so you'll find that the price will go up, but not to the extent that urea will go up. But you get more, like,
Bang for your buck.
I'm not going to say longevity, but you do. You get, so like a urea application,
Yep.
you have to do that 3 times over to achieve what a good polymer sulfur coated urea is.
Yep.
And if you look at the price of a bag of urea versus just a straight poly S at the moment,
Yep.
it's about double. And so
And
really,
we're also talking super high end ferts, right? Like
yeah.
the
So
old-
if you
good
if you
old
talk
crop-
urea 4600,
Yeah.
a poly S is 3800.
Right.
We have one. That'll last 3 months. That'll last about 4 weeks. So you'll do 3 applications. You'll do 1 application. That might cost $100 a bag. That might cost 40, and so $120 $100. So you're gonna spend way more money on
By
the
doing
conventional.
outdoors.
That's why for years we've been saying
Yeah.
use slow release or controlled release because you actually save money long term.
100%.
So yeah, that's ways you can curtail your rear usage, and it's also look at the technologies you use.
There you
on
go,
the
Jack McGawley. That's a quick insight to what could have
Pete.
been an hour and a half conversation.
Yeah.
Going to replace lawn before this spring, going with with Cooch, pros and cons between Santa Ana and Greenlees, located in Newcastle.
That's a okay. There's a good fella I reckon you talk to that has Greenlees. Mark Kinnard. He's got Greenlees on his front lawn. He cuts it like a golf green.
Stevie Moo's got Greenlees.
Yeah. So if you
Does
guys
he?
have, there'll be
His front
guys.
lawn's Greenlees.
There'll be
really?
there'll be guys on this page that have
weird.
Greenlees, and there'll also be like we saw some great Santa Ana lawns. There's other cooch grasses out there as well. Like
I think a lot of it comes down to walking on it with bare feet.
Yeah.
personal
and
choice,
Feeling what it's like.
personal choice, and the extent of maintenance and kind of what you want to get out of it and how much you want to put into it.
Yeah.
So like if you go like
It's on my foot.
Greenlees is probably a little bit less fine than Santa Ana. Santa Ana will thatch up more than Greenlees and more quickly. Colour's different. Santa Ana is more like a lighter green but a bluey tinge. Greenlees is like a more deep dark green. Greenlees will have wider leaf blades, slightly longer leaf blades. Santa Ana will be shorter. The node distances on Santa Ana will be shorter.
He's going full Wally.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I can tell you because I know these two grasses.
Yeah.
So, if you want to real mow and you want to cut low, I'd say Santa Ana. If you want to cut a bit higher and you want to, like sometimes rotary, sometimes real mow, you want a bit more flexibility, Greenlees is probably a good option. Also look at say Tiff Tuff, look at Tahoma 31, look at Wintergreen, like the original Wintergreen. I know Peter McMaud down in that area has some good grasses as well. There's so many cooches out there.
Still in the shed, Chris.
Yeah.
It's downstairs in the shed.
In Lenny's pants.
Yeah. Go and have a look. Go out to turf farms. I know it's tough at the moment because
Underwater.
they're being under the pump from the water.
Yep.
But yeah, just have a look at different turf types because there's more than just
Go
Santa
and
Ana
go and
Greenlees.
suss them out. Like
And talk to people on the page.
I've been to where you have displays and stuff like that, and you feel different ones. You're like, oh, that's good. And then you feel it. You're like, oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
It's all personal choice at the end
Yeah,
of the
That's
day.
how I
Right.
ended up with Latitude 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But
And
you
it's-
felt a few.
And then also talk to who's doing it about the maintenance of it. Find
That's
out
right.
what they've done to get it to that.
Find out their pros and cons.
Because if they've
So
done
maybe put a
nothing-
post up on the lawn and say who's got up on the lawn on the page and say who's got Santa Ana, who's got Greenlees. Let's go pros and cons.
Yeah.
Wally can only get a certain standard of longevity around this, but it all comes down to personal choice. And the more people you get talking about it, the better you'll get.
So
the results.
Tyson's got the next question. Oh, where we go? Does the wintergrass killer ingredient endothol suppress kikuyu and buffalo? No, it goes a little bit further than that. It actually kills it.
It tells you not to
It
spray
says
it.
do
on-
not use endothol on kikuyu, and it says that because it'll kill it.
It'll
It
smoke
might
it.
take a couple applications. It doesn't suppress it. It will smoke it.
Mm.
And don't be doing any half apps and everything like
Yeah,
that trying to
the
see because it will
Tahoma
just eventually kill it.
Come through a month or
So-
so after the 10,000 mil of rain. Fine, it's good. Come and have a look.
And
You got to
when
pick
you
up your
come
air
back-
compressor.
When you come and pick up your air compressor from Will's place and your third spreader from my place that I've been trying to give you for the last 6
And you
months.
can come to my house whenever you want, Benny, just for a beer. Do
Yeah.
that.
Speaking of Tahoma, we have that comp running.
Oh,
Comps.
we're supposed to pick a winner tonight.
We are supposed to pick
No,
a winner.
let's pick
Shall
a
we-
winner.
Should we pick a winner?
I forgot all about that.
Um,
We've had a bit on, guys.
so
Bit going on.
if you have seen and you are from Adelaide or South Australia, and you commented on the post, we're giving away 200 square metres of Tahoma 31 to anyone in the Adelaide region, South Australia region, on the Fanatics
Yeah.
that commented on that post and said, I need a new Tahoma lawn because of blah, blah, blah. We're just about to pick a winner.
The
Yeah.
the conditions around it were as well that you don't have to have it right now. You can
Yeah,
get
yeah,
your
right.
stuff. All the prep's got to be done by you. It's not that we're sending in a lawn rescue team to fully bed your soil and make it all perfect for you. That's all up to you. It's purely the supply of the turf. So
Yeah.
I've just seen the Antep results for greens grasses in the States. I was reading them this Savo, and really impressive the performance of Tahoma,
yeah,
but also and this is at greens cutting heights. So this
Yeah.
is, I think someone asked about greens grasses on the page today, and they asked, what's a good greens grass, and everyone's like Tiff Dwarf, and I'm like, that's probably now 30 years old.
yeah.
There's new stuff out
Old
there.
school.
Look around. But yeah, Tahoma, I think what I have it in my front lawn, it's pretty impressive. I think Tiff Tough is equally as impressive. They're both impressive grasses. They both rank really highly in all the trial work around the world.
What is that?
One's really, like Tahoma's really cold tolerant. Tiff Tough's really wear tolerant. They're kind of on this similar keel with shade tolerance, like different colours, but people have personal opinion on that. Like Tahoma's a deep green.
Yeah.
Tiff Tough's a bit more like it's probably closer to Santarena for it's more
Colour-wise, yeah.
lighter green.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that in Clint's Stiff Tough, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's a bit lighter, that full.
But different growth habits. Like Tahoma's more prostrate, Tiff Tough's more upright. So actually, in a way, you can get Tiff Tough to stripe more, and Tahoma will look more carpet-like.
I reckon
just
that's
'cause
the
of
winner.
growth habit.
Yeah.
Who's
And
that?
That is Eve Evans.
Eve Evans. I hope you're watching.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if you're not. You still win.
Eve Evans. We need to redo our front yard. This is our buff that never did well here. I'm embarrassed of what the front has become. Well, be embarrassed no more because
That's
you're
right.
getting a Tahoma
Yeah.
31.
Tahoma 31. Look
200
out.
square meters. I don't think it's exactly 200. I think it's like up around 200. If you need a little bit more,
Yep.
you'll get a little bit more. But that's awesome. Eve Evans,
Yeah.
winner.
Winner,
If you're not
winner.
on, we'll get on
Ding,
to
ding,
you.
ding, 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 ding. And you get to choose when you put it down.
That's right. So Brian is actually a friend of mine from we used to live in Liverpool together, and he's an Evertonian fan. So not only are you terrible at football at the moment, your manager actually breaks his hands celebrating goals. You see that, Frank Lampard? Celebrated a goal and broke his wrist.
What is
Is
the
it
Pretty
is
funny.
It football? Or
best
soccer?
Football,
spray
No.
for getting rid of grass in mulch garden beds? A friend recommended Salvo 212, which is what?
I don't know.
What's the active ingredient of that?
I think that's an apparent brand.
Okay. It looks like it might be fluazaflop. And if it is, if it's on label, because it is on label for garden beds and rights away, then it's a great product for getting rid of, if it's couch grass, it's a great product for getting rid of couch grass in garden beds. But you got to be careful what your plants are around there.
That's right.
If you got grass plants and you're using fluazaflop, you're probably going to give them a lift. Otherwise, yeah, like the weed wand and a Roundup is another good option.
We won
For the
life
control
changer.
of certain grasses and crops as indicated in the directions for use.
Yeah, so that version may not be on label, but I know, for example, Fusilade 2 is on label.
Yeah.
Different versions of that active ingredient are on label for garden bed use.
Callan is getting Tahoma sent to North Queensland in 2 weeks. Let's see how it goes. Wow. There you go.
That'll be interesting.
I'll message Eve
Yeah, good.
at some stage.
Yeah.
I'll message you now.
Yeah, send her a text. Blow her away.
Do what we did to Chad and just ambush him that night. Remember? We just video called him out of nowhere. Poor guy.
Is there any more questions on the
No,
tubes?
no, the tube's extremely quiet tonight, I must say.
I think the other thing.
BJ, let's catch up for a beer soon. Welshie is coming to Brisbane on Sunday, so call me. Anyway, sorry.
I think the other thing we'll start seeing is as the temperatures are starting to get a little bit cool, like the nighttime day temperature differences.
How good is
Yeah,
it?
it's
Like you
getting
can
out like
actually-
18 degrees.
19 last night,
You
yeah.
can sleep at night without sweating now.
I think top temperature in Melbourne tomorrow is 20.
Good.
Raining.
Good. So
Suck eggs.
we should see this time of year, and we get it every year on the page. We start to see some of those kind of autumn disease issues. There's a lot of dew hanging around on the
Yeah.
grass. Quite
A lot of
late.
black Helmo.
Yeah, But
A lot of tickle me.
I think-
Took me helmet. I've seen Nadeem just going hard on people with that.
I think we're coming in for a pretty hefty disease season, given we've had so wet up till quite late in the summer.
There's a lot of grey leaf spot, a lot of Helmo.
I think
Yeah.
it's good though. We've had this hotter weather to try and dry everything out before those temps. If it had been like another 3 or 4 weeks after, we'd see a lot
Yeah.
worse. I reckon.
Yeah.
I think we will start to see a fair bit of dollar spot kicking around in the next few weeks. I think I saw a post today. To me,
Yeah, yeah.
that looked, well, a combination of things. It looked like dollar spot and Pythium. And interestingly, like, I think it was a Zoysia japonica lawn. It seems to be like you see the problems, and it's like the problems of when you see it, you probably needed to treat it like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
That's Zoysia. Like, that's just its speed of growth. And, like, they probably won't get rid of that scarring now until
It's
springtime.
springtime,
Yeah.
yeah.
Already seeing power posts, Chris. Already
Yeah.
seeing them. They've had that much rain in New South Wales, as you would know because you were there, that their soil hasn't got real hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the moisture's kept it.
And so it's been a fairly temperate soil temperature. So
Power check and power cure, my friends.
Yeah.
This
If they can afford
get
power
involved.
cures.
Power cure will change your life.
time to scarify in Brisbane before it cools down.
We
Are
were
you-
talking
we
about
would this afternoon.
this morning.
Are you nuts? No, don't do it.
Well, that Anzac Day is like, that's like the you tuck in your lawn day. I
Yeah.
find like
Anzac Day.
it's pretty. Yeah, you still have
Lenny's
like,
birthday.
you still have marginal
It is.
marginal temps in that, like in even when you go further north. But like from Brisbane, I reckon you need to. You see people Reno and Brizzy about at a minimum 6 weeks before Anzac Day.
You need to be fully recovered by Anzac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I reckon you need 6 weeks, like with the temperatures and the way, like we generally have a pretty good growing conditions in March
Yeah.
in Brisbane. But I reckon you need your reno done end of Feb,
Yeah.
probably at the latest.
Nick's just seeded rye in Victoria. Pretty good result. Still a bit patchy in parts. How long should he wait to overseed?
Today.
No, wait, do it.
Today.
Just do it.
I got a question here from Shaken the Bacon 17. That's a great name on YouTube. I think that's epic. Is it Maple Bacon? How do you guys rate the Easy Flow or not worth adding in?
No, it's good.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're a good
I
thing.
want to get myself one.
I think
They're
they're
a good
amazing.
thing.
They're great. Especially if you're using a lot of liquids, it can save you hours and hours of spraying.
Particularly like things like with your seaweed, your kelp
That's right.
based stuff. Just
Do you reckon
All the plant
wetting
doctor
agent
stuff.
as well?
Well,
Or do
Yeah.
you think you're better off, like,
Adam, I asked Adam this with the Nature's soil wetter that they have, and he said, "Yep, no worries in the Easy Flow with the rest of it."
Yeah.
I don't know about stuff like TriSmart and it
because
works,
I
but
was
his is
hankering for that
obviously a bit
today. Like,
different.
had a pretty busy day at work, and I was just thinking, oh man, wish I could just go and like tip seaweed and wetting agent in the Easy Flow and just
Just
turn the
press the
irrigation
button.
on and just let it run while I was working.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't have the time, and
Yeah.
I was thinking like, it's just a massive time saver. If that's something you're doing monthly,
Yeah.
then you can just microdose monthly with it.
And they're really adjustable. Like
Yeah.
you can open it right up and you can pump 4 litres out
Yeah.
in minutes.
Yeah.
Or
And
you can turn it right down.
The way you can rig it too is you can put it like ahead of all your solenoids, so you can run. You can basically just put an amount, like if you know what your irrigation schedule looks like with your lawns, your garden beds, like if you've got drippers and all this stuff, you can basically put enough seaweed and
Yeah.
whatever in there to just microdose everything monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like why not?
Yeah, definitely worth the investment. I've got one mate who's got one, and he said when we were talking about the granular feeds versus the time you spend spraying and the hours, and now that we're all so time poor, the Easy Flow you can use liquids and then still not have
Yeah.
to spend all the time spraying. It's bloody good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Benny's asking. He's actually asking a question. As it
Oh
cools,
my god.
even slightly, when should we consider oversowing with rye? I think you could probably do it now because the humidity's really coming out of the air now. I think.
Yeah. You normally get one last snap of heat coming like close to Easter.
Probably start of April, Benny. I reckon.
Yeah, well, they always when they do it's weird. It's like the inverse, but when you do trials for preems on Pyrenua, you start at about end of Feb, and you put out the treatments of the preems like every 2 weeks, from like end of Feb through till end of April.
Yeah.
And when you go to different cities, you look at the right timing, and like so Brisbane, the right timing for Poa to start germinating is like end of March, start of April, which means it's also the right time to oversow cool season turf.
Yeah.
End of March, start of April.
Yeah.
You look at I know like some surfaces go earlier, like Gabba, Suncorp, because they're just hindered
But
by a
they
window.
need to, yeah.
But if they had their way, like if you go to a more outdoor area, like if you went to like a big series of sporting fields, like a uni or something, most of them will do it about April, like start of April.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Tyson with his second or fifth question of the night. He's still got some power in New South Wales survivable summer. There's talking to Nadine, he knows a lot about power.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different types of power. There's the annual and then it's perennial. So you get some that'll just grow for 1 year and die off, and then you get some that'll just keep coming back every year, the same stuff. So
The other thing with POA, like and controlling POA, is you're better off putting out a pre-emergent, and then like hand weeding. It depends like how many stands of POA you got, but if you've got like just some that's persistent, probably put out the pre-em like now and just hand weed it. Just get rid of it.
it's dead set one of the easiest weeds you'll ever pluck.
Yeah, it has shallow roots, but it's persistent. But see, that's probably your best bet. Had a customer ask to seed broadleaf carpet grass. You lads ever seeded the old chestnut? Yes, I have, but it's not broadleaf.
It was narrow leaf. I've done it too. It was narrow leaf carpet grass.
You can't get it's Exonopus. What is it? A Phoenicus or whatever, which is narrow leaf carpet. You can't get.
It was
broadleaf
different.
carpet.
Callan, if you've got a truck coming past with the Tahoma, I can get you some carpet from my front lawn that you can have and stick it on the truck and send it up there with it.
It'd be weird to. I don't know. Scarify might be a bit aggressive. Like if you had a customer's lawn who had carpet, because you would, Callan, up in Mackay way. He's a Mackay boy. You might be able to like verticut a customer's lawn and take the runners over, but don't pick the runners up with the mower. Rake them up so they're big.
Yeah.
Because the way you generally grow carpet grass from scratch is actually just old school sprigging method, like screwdriver, push in the runner, and just work your way along, and do that for them. Yeah.
Eve Evans just got back to me. Holy crap! Are you kidding me? Oh my God!
Swear warning.
Oh, that is the best ever.
How good.
How good.
Congrats, Eve.
Congrats, Eve. Get on the live stream. And
Let her jump on the. It's chopped a little bit.
We've had dodgy internet since the floods.
Yeah.
On the live stream, the group.
now.
Now.
Got 3 minutes.
Well, I don't have to pick her up because
Yeah. Oh, it's not just Lenny, it's Walla Gibbo too, Eve.
yeah.
Oh,
Come
Jesus.
on, once.
Jesus.
And actually, thanks to the guys at Timer 31 for
Yeah.
there's still
Daddy
3
days.
rounds of comp. We still have Vic, New South Wales and Queensland
to go.
and so it'll probably just be like two week intervals of each one. So Vic's the next one, cab off the rank.
So we'll
What do you
give
reckon?
it 2 weeks rest.
Yep.
And then we'll do Victoria.
Yep.
And then we'll give it 2 weeks rest into New South Wales.
And we'll be getting close to Origin time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. How epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
How epic. I've got another question here on the tubes.
Okay, do it.
Peter N. Power feed versus activate mate. Cost versus effectiveness. Do you apply knapsack or hose end? Which is best?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. I think you're comparing apples and oranges, so
Yeah.
I think you get a lot.
2 totally different projects.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the analysis, like if you looked at cost versus analysis, which will then influence efficacy, you'll find that Activate Mate has way higher nutrient value in it.
There's 2 different ones: there's Activate Mate and Activate
Extra. Yeah,
which
yeah.
has got a higher.
But even Activate Mate, there's more goodies in there than what there would be in Power Feed anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
They're
think you'll
kind of
find,
apples and oranges, but
yeah,
Activate's a much
it's
better
like
product, in
I
my
think
opinion.
I think to achieve the nutrition value though, just going off my memory of Power Feed, you'd almost have to double the amount you put out to achieve the same at a single rate for.
They get their Plant Doctor a lot of their nitrogen source from Peruvian seabird poo.
Yeah.
So PSG, they used
Yep.
to sell at PSG as a product.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the source of a lot of the, and it's one of the world's highest natural sources.
What is it?
of nitrogen.
19 to 12 or something?
I can't
Is it?
remember.
Yeah, I think power feed's like 10 to 8, so it's about half.
We can look it up.
Yeah, we can look them up both and just give you an idea.
Yes.
Go
So
look
good.
it up on the Big Green Shed.
That's right.
So-
Big Green Shed. I gotta stop saying
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. Like,
fertilizer.
to be fair, like where you're gonna get efficacy out of it, in how you apply it is you probably, well, it depends what you want to achieve, but you actually have to up your rate if you're gonna soil drench.
Yeah.
If you're gonna spray true folio in a knapsack, you probably spray it 3 to 4 liters per 100 square meters
Yeah.
of water, and you might put 200 mils of that product in.
Yeah.
But to achieve the same outcome with power feed, you might have to put 400 mils of the concentrate in
Yeah.
and
There you
spray
go,
at the
see?
same water rate.
It's got the dancing shoes on.
Yeah.
Well done.
Hey,
Yay!
whoa, well done.
So
How good?
I'll put you in touch with Dave, who's a Tahoma guy and waiting for live video signal. Come on, baby.